A few years ago, I read a story about an Italian girl called Gemma Di Giorgi. She was born on the 25th of December 1939 in Ribera, Sicily, without pupils in her eyes. So obviously she was blind from her birth. One day, a religious sister who was a friend of Gemma's family suggested to go with her to Padre Pio and ask him to pray for a miracle of healing. Before the trip to San Giovanni Rotondo, the nun asked the Capuchin priest to say a prayer for Gemma. He promised to do so. In 1947, during a trip to Padre Pio, the little girl told her grandmother, who was traveling with her, that something strange was happening to her eyes and that she began to see a little. The grandmother thought her granddaughter was making it up and ignored her words. Upon the arrival, Gemma went to confession to Padre Pio and received her first Holy Communion from his hands. After receiving the body of Christ, Padre Pio made the sign of the cross over each eye. After leaving San Giovanni Rotondo, Gemma began to see objects more clearly. On her return to Sicily, a doctor examined her eyes and found that Gemma could see very well the various objects he had shown her. He was amazed and admitted that it could not be explained from a medical point of view. Gemma grew up to be a woman with perfect sight, without pupils, and to this day her healing is unexplained by numerous eye specialists. In today's Gospel, Jesus was walking with his apostles when they passed by a blind man. When they saw him, the disciples asked the Lord, "Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents?" He answered that he was born blind so that the works of God might be displayed in him. And then Jesus did something unexpected. He spat on the ground, made a paste with the spittle, put this over the eyes of the blind man, and said, "Go and wash in the pool of Siloam." So the blind man went off and washed himself and came away with his sight restored. After some time, the healed man came back to Jesus and worshipped him. Saint Jerome explained the spiritual significance of that healing in this way. Christ laid his hands upon his eyes that he might see all things clearly, so through visible things he might understand things invisible, which the eye has not seen, that after the film of sin is removed, he might clearly behold the state of his soul with the eye of a clean heart. Maybe some of us are blind from birth or became blind later in life, like a friend of mine who lost his sight due to the illness when he was already a mature man. Perhaps we feel spiritually blind. Some people might ask, what does it mean to be spiritually blind? It means to live in the darkness of sin. It means to make a conscious choice to live without God. It means an arrogant rejection of his love and salvation. Brothers and sisters, blindness is something from which we all can suffer. Whether we have pupils in our eyes or not, let us decide to live in God's light every day. Let us be open to a miracle of being healed from the most dangerous blindness that can happen to us, the blindness of a closed and unrepentant heart. May this time of grace be a good opportunity for us to allow God to enlighten us so that we may see in truth dark areas of our life and come back to Him with all our heart. Let us humbly prepare ourselves for the resurrection of the light of the world, Jesus, the Messiah.